Operation and Management. As you all know, we reduced the size of this committee by, resolution that was done many years ago. So, the only one we're missing is Mr. Dickinson, he's on vacation. So I'd like to call the meeting to order. A motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting, Ms. Wood, Ms. Frazier, all in favor?
Aye.
Vote passed. Okay, I'm gonna move it right over to Jeff, to the agenda part.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Chairman. On page 1 is a, request to amend the budget. This is to receive an insurance recovery for lampposts. This was hit by a vehicle at one of the events last year, and we finally gotten the insurance recovery so we can replace the lamp.
Ms. Frazier, Ms. Wood, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
Okay, the next item on page 4 is a request to amend Resolution 531 of 2013, and the resulting intermunicipal agreement, between the county and the Village of Lake George. This is to amend it to include a new project. The prior IMA listed certain projects to be, involved with the cost-sharing arrangement, and so this would amend it for the new projects, and maybe the mayor or David might have more to elaborate on the new project that's coming.
For the signage?
The signage and the
And
water
the
feature.
decorative
Water.
Both are in the works, yeah.
Need any discussion on it? All right, need a motion to move ahead. Ms. Frazier, Ms. Wood,
We have to make a correction to that, though.
all in
Okay.
favor?
Wait.
Oops, excuse me.
Yeah, I think there has to be a correction to that, because, Mayor, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the total of the grant award is 400,000, 200 local match, and 200 from Department of State. We only listed it as 200,000 in here in the resolution, so I think it has to state 400,000 here.
That's correct.
With a $200,000 local match.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm able to amend my motion.
Found the motion, second on that?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Referrals, none. Information and discussion, Jeff?
Yeah, I wanted to turn it over to David Harrington, and in the packet you'll see some information that David had sent me. We had talked earlier, I think last month, about needing to buy some equipment to locate right at the park so that the village wasn't constantly loading and unloading equipment from their main DPW garage. So on page 7 is a summary of the type of equipment, and then also 3 quotes for the golf cart for the maintenance.
Yep, yeah, so we're looking at, recommending 5-Star to purchase the golf cart that we'll use at the, site to just get around, pick up garbage, do maintenance with. And then there's a list of, equipment there, push mowers, edgers, string trimmers, hand tools, around $1,000 worth of equipment there.
We didn't do this last, 2 months ago? I thought we did this,
It
no?
was brought up for discussion.
Just brought up for
and approved.
discussion. Okay, go ahead, Jeff.
So now that they've got quotes and they've got the estimate for their equipment, if the committee wants to move that, it would be a total of $5,170 to purchase the golf cart and the equipment.
And the
I'm sure
funds are coming
we're
from,
shopping, we can do a little better on the
fund,
equipment.
the funds are coming from our money from the park.
Right.
Right.
I think I have money in the operating budget to cover this. I'm not sure I have it in the right equipment code for the golf cart. But I could advise at the finance committee,
Okay,
which is in a couple days.
right, Monday, I think.
No,
Wednesday, next Wednesday, okay.
31st.
All right, any other questions, discussion, Ms. Wood?
Electric or a
Right.
gas card?
Okay.
It's gas, golf cart's gas. We own 2 of them in the village and we had great luck with them.
Ms. Wood?
Yeah, I haven't been on the committee, so just getting oriented here. I remember discussion about this. I'm just curious if there's a reason that, we wanna go with 5-Star over the Satch?
They're both the same price.
Okay, I didn't know if there was like
5-Star
a.
is located right here on Route 9.
Okay, alright, that explains
Yeah.
it, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions, comments? Mr. Garrity?
Where are you gonna store the equipment?
In
The
okay.
hand tool equipment will be, there's a big utility room in the back of the restroom building, and for this year, I think we can store everything right in there. It's just a push
Here,
mower.
keep it all on site.
Yep, yep. The golf cart will go back and forth, from our DPW garage, cause that's where the guys will punch in, so we'll drive it down in the morning and do stuff. Cause I don't have a big enough area to park the golf cart inside, I don't wanna leave it outside.
All right, any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We need a motion and a
Oh,
second to
I'm
get it
sorry,
on
I
for
thought we
approval.
did that.
So I'll make a
You gotta
motion.
keep me under control here.
Trying.
Need a motion to go ahead and spend the money on all the equipment that was discussed. Ms. Wood, Ms. Frazier, any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
Okay, the next item on the agenda was, a request from Mayor Blaze to address the committee regarding the park stage.
The last element that we have really on the agenda for the, park, the entire park, is a stage for the festival space. Promoters, to date have been, renting a stage, usually cost ranging somewhere from $3,000 to $5,000, for a two-day event. And, we've been meeting with Alon. This committee approved, a proposal with Alon that's, been completed, and they came forth with a permanent stage that we presented at the last meeting, that costs in the range of about $500,000. Most of the promoters that have used the space, I have been able to bring to several meetings in Saratoga, and they are all saying that a stage of that cost and that size is not necessary for our space. We turned our direction then to a temporary stage, and I've been in touch with two companies. One, the largest stage manufacturer in North America, which is located, interestingly enough, in Montreal, and another company that makes a portable stage, and they're located in Germany. I brought specifications and catalogs to our last meeting with these promoters in Saratoga. We had 5 of them there, and they all chose 2 designs for a portable stage. What I'd like the committee to endorse today is just changing our concept from a permanent stage, of which incidentally we've had different promoters locate their stage in different places at the festival space. It works for different groups in different places, and obviously if it's permanent, that would be it forever. Secondly, the stages that we're looking at can be moved throughout the entire county. They can be set up in as small as 20 minutes. They can be used at the Balloon Festival. They could be used for the Warrensburg Jamboree. Can be used in Chestertown, North Creek, and downtown in the city of Glens Falls, and transported by a truck. It has all the features of anything that we would ever need. It obviously does not have dressing rooms, which the permanent stage has, but we've been using RVs donated by companies that wish to, get benefit of the publicity. We've been using tents set up on each side of the temporary stage that we have. The cost of these stages range anywhere from $200,000 to $300,000, and the interesting thing is that's in Canadian money, so it's not going to cost that much in American. The good news is that I have been able to raise funds equal to $200,000 from a source that, when we decide what we want, we can certainly make it public. So I think that, with all that said, that the possibility of being able to use the stage throughout the entire county, up at the fairgrounds, anywhere, and transport it and store it, we certainly can store it in the village at the rec center in the winter. And the other potential is that 3 of our events, the Beer Festival, the Wine Festival, and Americade, don't need a stage. The stage takes up room, takes up valuable room that they could put vendors on, obviously. And at that particular time, we wouldn't have the stage there. So I would just like to work with the county and the engineers and work with the manufacturers to perhaps drop some specifications, because it'll have to go out to bid, and that we pursue the possibility of purchasing a temporary stage, which we could probably do for the 2017 season.
All right, any questions, yes?
I guess, my only question is the funding source. Is the funding source specific, is there specific interest to the park? Because if it's gonna be shared throughout the county, you know, are there any strings attached with the funding source that you've acquired that would prevent us, as you said, from it moving
No.
to other events?
No.
Well, what's the pleasure? Want to let Mr. Mayor move forward, get us, because do you have any more of these that you sent?
That's the permanent stage. I've given specs to, I think, from the company in Montreal to the county. We've shared them, and I just got the ones today from the company. They're from Germany, but they don't manufacture it in Germany. But they've got several options here, and these stages are able to be erected by one person in as less than 30 minutes. And they have all the features that everyone needs to hang lights and so on and so forth, and they're usually transported by a semi, depending upon what size we choose. But it's remarkable, I think, that the fact that the prices seem to be quite reasonable in American funds, and that the potential to being able to use it throughout the entire county. I've been to several festivals in the county where I'm sure if they had a stage like this, it would be a tremendous asset to them. And the city of Glens Falls as well, with their Wednesday night downtown features. We have 4 platforms we set up in the village when we don't have a stage, and it takes us longer than that to set up the platforms. So I think this is a great potential, and the fact that the funding is almost totally available, I think it makes a lot more sense for us to pursue something like this.
All right, that is could be agreed with the committee, let Mr. Mayor move forward with getting more information and some design work, and can you have it for next month, our next meeting, do you think?
Well, it depends how I think what we want to work towards is being able to, the gentleman from Montreal is coming May 17th to meet with us. And we can certainly go over, you know, answer all our questions, but then obviously we need to somehow go towards putting it out to bid. And it's going to take a few months to get the money in place, because I have to make an application for the funds.
So we'll just give you a move ahead, go ahead, just
Yeah,
set
that's
to
all
approve it.
I want. I just don't want to waste, this is drastically different than what we talked about, you know, having a permanent stage. I just don't want to have all these folks come and waste all our time talking about this if the concept doesn't meet with the approval of the committee.
Well, you know, just listening to what you told me, I think the concept is great, the price is right, especially you're getting the money for us, doesn't cost us anything.
No, I'm not getting it, but I'm not getting it, but someone else
Well,
is.
I mean, you're arranging the finances, so there's none coming out of the county, so that's,
A lot of it depends upon the Final Four. No. No.
All right, thank you, so we're all right, we don't need a resolution, we're just gonna move forward on this, okay, thank you. You wanna move on, Jeff?
Sure, the next item is for Mayor Blaze to address the soda machine or vending machine at the park building.
There's a lot of use already at the skate park, and the young people came to me, their committee came to me last Thursday and said, Mayor, we need water and soda somewhere in the park. Dave and I went down there. There is an outlet on the exterior of the restroom building underneath the eaves. One side for an ATM machine evidently, and the other side for a soda machine, and I would like permission to be able to, contract or with someone. The caveat is that, the village has a contract with, the Pepsi-Cola company, and I don't know who the county does business with.
Gotcha.
We have a contract with Fitzgerald Brothers.
That's who ours is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an
So I
exclusive.
think maybe the next step would be to compare contracts and then decide which direction to go. You might have a better deal than we do, and then maybe we can extend either the village or the county contract to include that site.
But it's, as long as it's the same company, I was concerned maybe you had a different company, but we'd like to move ahead with that.
All right, so
Thank you.
we can move forward to that and bring it back and when we're ready with the decision. I mean, can we just go, we'd still need the approval of the board.
Our contract,
Do you know what it is?
our existing contract, we would have to amend it through a board resolution, but, essentially we get a percentage of the sales.
Yours is better than ours then.
Okay.
Yeah, I had one with the town that, we paid for the electricity, but we didn't pay for anything else, and that didn't work well.
We'll work with yours.
Electricity is a lot,
We get a
so.
flat fee per year, so if we need a percentage, they're not gonna raise the flat fee.
All right, so that, I mean, we can move ahead at next month, have it ready for May? Right, okay. So you look into that? Go ahead.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is, a discussion regarding camera system and public Wi-Fi. On page, 8, I have a conceptual design from our IT department to install camera system, and on page 9 is kind of a layout. The system, I met down, on site with Mike Colvin, and I think Dave Harrington was there too, and we talked about the areas of coverage. And really, the systems have developed to a point so far along where the resolutions are so high, the equipment is very affordable. We can cover virtually the entire park and even zoom in on some of the critical areas for about $1,600 in material. This would protect from, graffiti, which I understand we've already had some issues, at the park, or any damage, vandalism. It could also be useful, if there's any incidents, during events or otherwise. So, I'm recommending that we move forward with a camera system. The other piece of it, though, and this has come up in the past, is, whether the committee and the village wants to, or feels like public Wi-Fi would be, something that we would want on site. Eventually, we have, public Wi-Fi at other, public areas where it is, free access to Wi-Fi. The equipment would not be a whole lot more, about $200 in equipment would be needed. And then for a commercial public Wi-Fi service, it'd be $90 or $100 a month. And it would really just be for the benefit of people using the park or events, using the park to have direct Wi-Fi access in the vicinity of that park building. The other thing it can do, in conjunction with the camera system, is allow remote access into the camera systems by law enforcement or even by tourism to be able to, have live feeds on events or anything else. And that is done relatively easily through, either through the county center systems or even through phone apps on a smartphone. So I wanted to bring that up again. We don't have to make a decision on the Wi-Fi at this point. It can be added at a later date. I certainly recommend proceeding with the camera system and getting that installed.
Any questions? Any other comments? Where are you gonna get the funds from? That's
Again, this would be something we'd pull out of the park revenue.
for every year.
I'll advise the committee. I think I have some equipment money, in the park O&M operating budget. I'd be happy to use it out of there. That's what it was put there for. But I can advise prior to finance. I'll have to do a resolution request anyway for Amanda.
Well, how about any discussion on doing both at the same time, or just go with the cameras first, or?
I like the idea of the public Wi-Fi. There's nothing better for advertising for events than somebody snapping a selfie saying, I am having a blast at X. So I can see the value of that. I also think that anytime you've got public Wi-Fi, that draws people to that spot, they naturally congregate there. My only concern is, you know, how we pay the monthly fee, how are we to have the Wi-Fi there? But I'd be fine with going ahead with the cameras at this point, and then coming back and addressing the Wi-Fi in the future.
Any other?
That's a good idea.
You wanna
Do it
keep
that
that?
way.
Good idea.
Mayor, that's
Yep.
good? All right, then we'll need a motion to go ahead with the cameras. Evelyn, Ms. Frazier, any other questions on
I
that?
could, Mike Colvin's estimate was $1,517, if I could just set that at $1,650 or give us a little bit of wiggle room for,
That's
That's,
fine.
that is okay with you, Evelyn?
Yep, that's
Okay.
fine.
All right, any other questions, any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Jeff, go ahead, you can move ahead with
Okay.
that one.
okay, thanks. The last item is a discussion, regarding the festival space construction that was completed about a year and a half ago. We have a contract dispute item, and, I think from talking with, Brian, we wanted to bring that into executive.
Mr. Chairman, there is one of the contracts is still open. There's been some money held back by the county. I'm advised by counsel for the contractor that they will sue over that money. I would like to advise the committee of of the strengths and weaknesses of their case, so I'd ask for, executive session to do that.
Okay. All in favor, understand the executive session?
Motion to
All
go into
right.
executive session.
Mike, Evelyn made a move, Mr. Mayor, second. All right, we'll go into executive session. Shouldn't be too long, I don't think.
We owe somebody money there.
We held part of it.
Session, no decision was made on our discussion, but we will, if you would like, Ed, to address the committee and, on your situation, just so you know, it also is taped and televised, so I just want you to know that. There's a speaker right behind there, you can.
My name is Ed Kovaleski. I'm from the law firm of Fox and Kovaleski, and I represent the VMJR companies. We're here today. We made a proposal to the county relative to a conclusion of the contract, which has been completed now since I believe of August of 2014. We made a proposal to the county which we think is fair and reasonable. I've had conversations with Brian about this in the past, as well as his predecessor, Martin Afferdew. And so at this point in time, our proposal is well documented in the correspondence that's been submitted to the county, and we're just asking the county to be fair and reasonable, and hopefully we can come to a conclusion so that we do not have to go to litigation. So if anybody has any questions, I'm willing to answer those, any members of the board.
Any questions from the committee? Okay, so what in favor of the committee, we're gonna turn it back over to our attorney and let him negotiate with this, company and, then bring it back to us again. That, basically, you wanna put the wording in that you need?
That's my understanding, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Well said, thank you.
So, is that all, got a motion to do that in a second? So we're all in favor of that? Okay, thank you. Any, privilege of the floor, if you wanna move, or, yes?
Very briefly, because I'm running late. Those of you that are familiar with it, the entranceway to Wood Park from the beach road is, at the end of it is a line of
National Grid.
power poles, national green, that's why I have to watch that. National Grid power poles. The last one has 3 transformers, it leans about this, like this, and if it comes down, it's gonna take out anybody walking on our entrance sidewalk. Plus it looks like it's terrible. There's 3 poles, they need to be moved, straightened up, fixed up, done something. We've been in contact with, National Grid, saying, you know, you gotta do something down there. We spent millions and millions of dollars, donated whatever, and it's an eyesore on top of everything else. It occurred to some of us that maybe if the mayor, the chairman of the board, the chairman of the committee, could point out to National Grid that what's been spent there by who and why and they now have an eyesore and a danger to the traveling public, that, they shouldn't do it. We've been in contact with them. Those of you who deal with Mr. Murphy down there, he's leaving shortly, and he's the one contracted. If he goes and, somebody from England comes over who owns it, what's gonna happen? So we thought maybe if we could get some political pressure put on them to straighten out that mess, it would help. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Jeff, have you seen that?
Yeah, I know, and actually, that's part of that same line that runs along the base of that bank on the back side of the park. So I'd be happy to reach out to Mr. Murphy, and I've asked, John Strow and also Dan Steck in the past to assist, and he's offered to. They know each other well, so I'd be happy to make them, maybe get some pictures and forward
You
that
try
to
that and
Mr.
then let us
Murphy.
know, and maybe we can, if we need to get a letter out to them, we will. All right, anything else? Anything else, Jeff?
I think that's it.
I need a motion adjourned. We're adjourned.